Thanks, Jamie. Let's get to your top headlines. These stories are real new now. One of the most iconic stores in the history of the country is shutting its doors in Springfield. Why Sears is saying goodbye to the Queen City.
The Missouri auditor has concluded an investigation into Senator Josh Hawley. We take a look at why the senator is calling the auditing process, quote, troubling.
And a Missouri congressman is auctioning off one of his ties for charity. How he hopes the Commander-in-Chief's John Hancock will help raise big bucks for a cause. Ozarks Fox News at 9 starts right now.
Real, new, now. This is Ozarks Fox News at 9.
Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm John Adams.
And I'm Jennifer Abreu. Today, one of the oldest retail stores in Springfield announced it will be closing its doors.
Sears, located in the Battlefield Mall, says it'll be open until mid-April before shutting down its operations. Well, Sears has been a fixture in the Springfield shopping scene for decades, and our Jesse Inman joins us now to tell us a little bit about Sears' history here in the area and what is to come for that retailer.
Yeah, you know, the news comes in a time where many brick and mortar stores are closing as well, and Sears is just the latest of several of those. And today I spoke with John Sellers with the History Museum on the Square for a little context on Sears. He says the retail store first opened doors in Springfield in the late 1920s in a storefront at the northwest corner of College and Campbell, where the Hollywood Theater now sits. And in the 1950s, they built a new store next to the Shrine Mosque. We know that space today as the Springfield Expo Center. And when the Battlefield Mall opened in 1970, Sears moved in and has occupied space there since. Now with their doors closing, Sellers says that in a way, retail innovation contributed to their rise and now their fall.
When you think about Sears, you have to think about their cutting edge approach to retailing. They had a brick and mortar store, but they were also huge in catalog sales. And the Sears Roebuck catalog was a game changer. They are the victim of the next shift in retailing, which they were the cause of the last one.
Now, the Battlefield Mall did not respond for comment on the closing or the future of that big space in the mall, but Sears Holdings sent us a statement about the decision saying, quote, after careful review, we have made the difficult but necessary decision to close the Sears store in Springfield, Missouri. The liquidation sale, begins this week, and the store is planned to close, as we now know, in mid-April.
Right, Jesse, thanks. Moving to political coverage tonight. An audit into Senator Josh Hawley says as Attorney General, he used a state vehicle for campaign stops during his bid for U.S. Senate. Auditor Nicole Galloway's office found Hawley reimbursed expenses from only some campaign-related events. Our Frances Lynn is here to break this down for us. Frances, what is this all about?
Well, the audit found no laws were broken, but state law mandates audits of statewide elected officials after they leave office.
We found that out-of-state political consultants were advising state employees on their work, were creating checklists and to-do lists for state employees for their work in different initiatives. There is no clear violation of state law, but some of that lack of clarity is because that work was conducted on private email and private text messages.
Hawley says he's submitting a complaint to the Missouri State Board of Accountancy for deeply troubling issues in response to Galloway's audit process. In a recent tweet, he said Galloway is using the audit for her own political gain, manipulating audits to help campaign for governor. The Missouri Attorney General's office released a statement expressing the same concerns, saying the political nature of this audit and the unprecedented inclusion of a transcript that paperwork should be kept confidential. And in response, the state auditor's office released this statement saying then State Senator Eric Schmidt voted in favor of expanding the auditor office's authority and adding that the AG was prosecuting corruption cases utilizing that same authority. The statement continues saying the auditor's office does have authority to disclose information in a public audit report unless another provision of law specifically prohibits it, which is not the case in this situation.
All right, Francis, thank you. Well, Congressman Billy Long is combining his auctioneering experience with his congressional duties, all for charity. He's auctioning off the tie he wore at the State of the Union the other night, signed by President Trump for cancer research at St. Jude Children's Hospital. Our Madison Heaver spoke with Congressman Long today about his decision to ask the president for his autograph. Madison.
Yeah, John, if you were watching the State of the Union Tuesday, you might have noticed the Southwest Missouri representative asking President Trump for his autograph while he was on his way out. Now, you can see it here as other Republicans were congratulating the president. Congressman Long stopped him and got his autograph. Now, because of ethics rules, Long says he'll be letting the National Auctioneers Association handle auctioning off the tie. In a phone call this afternoon, Long told me raising money for St. Jude is one of his passions.
Our youngest daughter was stricken with cancer 5 years ago and Hodgkin's lymphoma, and so we thought we were going to lose her. We went through all the treatments. She lost all her hair, got all her hair back, and all those protocols that she went through, those are all developed at St. Jude. So it's just kind of a passion for me. Anytime we can help with cancer research, or help St. Jude out, I'm going to do it.
But the tie isn't the only thing he wanted to auction. He also tried getting House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to auction off the copy of the State of the Union speech that she ripped up.
It just hit me. I thought that speech, when she ripped it, before she ripped it, it was worth 15 cents. I mean, the paper was written on. After she ripped it, being an auctioneer, I knew it had, a lot of intrinsic value, so I knew it'd be worth thousands of dollars. And I walked up to her and I said, Nancy, we need to auction that off. And she said, what do you mean? I said, we could auction that for charity, and, whatever charity you pick, and it'd bring a lot of money. And she said, no, I'm going to keep it for prosperity.
Long actually auctioned off a Trump-signed tie last year as well. That one raised $15,000 for St. Jude, and he's hoping this year it'll go for even more.
Madison, thank you. President Donald Trump claiming victory today after he was acquitted in a Senate vote on 2 charges in his impeachment trial. President Trump took his chance to speak about the vote early this morning at the annual National Prayer Breakfast.
As everybody knows, my family, our great country, and your president have been put through a terrible ordeal by some very dishonest and corrupt people, and by so doing, very badly hurt our nation.
President Trump also made a formal statement today on the outcome of his impeachment trial. We have more coverage on the reaction to the president's acquittal coming up for you at 9:30.
More local news for you now. Tonight, local parents had the chance to learn more about keeping their children safe on the internet. A workshop at SB Elementary in Nixa included 5 talking points. Those are to be alert, smart, strong, kind, and brave while on the internet. Jessica Broadway organized that event. She says the most important thing to ensure safety online is communication between kids and parents, and that children should never feel alone while on the internet.
You're not always going to be able to control what your kids see, but you're always going to be able to influence them. And influence comes with knowledge and partnering with your neighbors, your friends. This is a community, and that's what they'll see here tonight. Not just their teachers that care about what they do online, but their friends and their neighbors and their families. These are relationships that we're building tonight, and when you have relationship, you have influence.
The workshop was a collaboration between the National Parent Teacher Association and Google, and it was made possible through Google funding.
Checking in with Jamie now at the Weather Lab. Jamie, cold tonight. I'm hoping it will warm up at least a little bit for the weekend.
It's getting better by the weekend. Temperatures are going to be very cold overnight tonight, particularly over areas that still have snow on the ground north of the interstate. We'll take a look at how low those lows will be and also how warm we will see our temperatures get this weekend. In your forecast next.
You're watching Ozarks Fox News at 9 with John Adams, Jennifer Abreu, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.